astrophysicist Dr. Michio Kaku. He's written a fascinating new book, The God Equation, The Quest for a Theory of Everything.
Chelsea Edwards joins us live from Montrose with what people are saying about this video. If this all turns out to be true, this is the biggest story of our lifetime, Chelsea.
When it comes to aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you on air. But what is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. You know, I think that people still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is.
From what I hear you guys saying, there's something.
Yes.
Oh, there's definitely something that, I don't know who's building it, who's got the technology, who's got the brains, but there's something out there that was better than our airplane.
That guy looks a little alien-y to me.
They called it a security threat.
But I think now, you know, hearing top officials or executives say things like that, it's interesting that they're sort of validating it.
These pilots on 60 Minutes last night described planes doing things that make ours look like toys. I mean, if what they're saying is true, and I have no reason to doubt them, what can we do?
Sure. So, first of all, we can overcome our self-inflicted ignorance and start collecting data. And we're talking about multiple different kinds of things, so that what they talked about last night was the extreme case of the
newly leaked video appears to show a UFO flying near a Navy ship off the coast of California. Yes, you heard that right. The video shows a dark object moving across the sky near a stealth ship off San Diego before suddenly veering into the water.
This information was directly confirmed by the Pentagon, so we are witnessing in these videos true UFOs, unidentified flying objects, now known as UAPs.
The newly released video, just the latest.
Whoa, it's getting close.
On a pitch black night off the coast of California, newly leaked video allegedly shows one of the U.S. Navy's stealth ships tracking an unknown object in the sky. Then after a few minutes,
Splashed. Mark bearing a ring.
And then in the space of the last month or two, we've been drowned with evidence. By the way, on Sunday we learned, no big deal, that UFOs have been flying into restricted airspace off the coast of Virginia every day for years. We learned this Sunday night on 60 Minutes. One former Navy commander, David Fravor, said he witnessed a UFO flying over the Pacific Ocean in November of 2004.
And we saw this little white tic-tac looking object, and it's just kind of moving above the whitewater area.
As Dietrich circled above, Fravor went in for a closer look. So it's sort of spiraling down?
Yep. The tic-tac's still pointing north-south. It goes and just turns abruptly and starts mirroring me. So as I'm coming down, it starts coming up.
So it's mimicking your moves.
Yeah, it was aware we were there.
He said it was about the size of his F-18, with no markings, no wings, no exhaust plumes.
I'll see how close I can get. So I go like this, and it's climbing still. And when it gets right in front of me, it just disappears.
So we talked to David Fravor last night, and he told us something that was fascinating that we didn't know. So this happens. He sees a UFO very clearly while flying a military jet in 2004, but the military doesn't save the tape of the incident or any of the data on the ship. Why wouldn't you?
Are there any similarities between these recent incidents and incidents that go back as far as half a century?
There seems to be a lot of continuity there.
You know, I think that over beers, we've sort of said, hey man, if I saw this solo, I don't know that I would have come back and said anything because it sounds so crazy when I say it.
Hovering and then disappearing into the waters of the Pacific Ocean. Now, it was night and dark outside. We're looking at thermal video here. It's been reported that as many as 14 of these spheres surrounded the Omaha and were detected by the ship's sensors as well.
So you're seeing it both with the radar and with the infrared, and that tells you that there is something out there.
Pretty hard to spoof that.
Lieutenant Graves told us pilots training off the Atlantic coast see things like that all the time.
Every day. Every day for at least a couple of years.
Oh, wait a minute, every day for a couple of years?
Mm-hmm.
There is a UFO presence on planet Earth, and it's homogeneous around the globe. In your country, in my country, it's time.
We're naive to think that we're alone in this universe, right? But look, my question is, where are they coming from?
Imagine a technology that can do 600 to 700 G-forces, that can fly at 13,000 miles an hour, that it can evade radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet still can defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity. That's precisely what we're seeing.
The interaction of US Navy submarines, nuclear ballistic missile submarines and attack submarines, picking up sonar contact of things moving at hundreds of knots under the water. And so there is a undersea dimension to this that the Navy has sort of pushed off to the side.
The government is soon releasing a report that could change everything we think we know.
But I think it speaks to, as the Pentagon itself has admitted, this continuing trend of truly unexplained things coming into the public consciousness more than they have before.
This is the biggest story humanity has ever engaged.
Biggest story humanity has ever engaged. And when you think about it, it really could be.
When we start talking about space and we look up and see all those stars and the ones behind you on the graphic there, we think, are we alone?
For Americans who have not been paying attention to this issue, Emily, the jig is up. We now have former presidents, former directors of national intelligence, to Republican and Democrat presidents, members of Congress, senior members of Congress saying this is a real threat.
And so the idea, just so I understand correctly, this parallel universe that's happening, is it physically, potentially, right next to me, something is happening, or maybe my life is happening in a different way right here, or is it happening physically somewhere else, or am I thinking of it in the wrong way?
Well, we have to realize that there could be other dimensions out there beyond length, width, and height. Think of fish in a pond. A fish in a shallow pond think that their water universe is two-dimensional. They can swim forward, backward, left, right. But anyone who talks about up in a higher dimension is considered a fish crackpot. Well, today, we physicists think that we are the fish. We spent all our life in 3 dimensions, going forward, backward, left, right, up, down. But there's a new theory out there which says that there are higher dimensions, that our bubble is expanding into a higher dimension.
I want us to have a process to analyze the data until we get some answers. Maybe it has a very simple answer. Maybe it doesn't.
A pair of Harvard scientists say a massive, fast-moving visitor to our solar system may have been a probe sent by an advanced alien civilization.
So we suggested that perhaps this object is a technological relic. In fact, a sail produced by another civilization, and the first indication that such a civilization exists.
Loeb's theory didn't win him any friends among other scientists, especially when he turned it into a best-selling book.
All right, Jill next.
So, Avi, I get a little bit pissed off when you throw the entire scientific culture under the bus, because some of us have been thinking about and building instruments to find anomalies for a very long time.
My colleagues responded very negatively.
Now, the military's secret program was only one 2017 surprise. Oumuamua was another.
being deployed. Citizens are advised to seek shelter in rural areas. Please lock all windows and doors. Ensure your family remains quiet at all times. Do not attempt to make contact. Do not to communicate with the invading force.